Previously on the Novympia channel.
Take a little bit of honey and put it in your ear.
And coming up. I find you very rude.
The Novympia channel is made possible thanks to our gorgeous patrons who get access to exclusive Garbo, and thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video.
Cue the snafu!
I don't know if I like this dress though.
It's a little bit labia meets seaweed.
Labia?
You asked for it. Oh, you screamed for more. Welcome to Novympia References, Volume 4.
Ah!
Did you see that? Yeah. Great. Preparation. H. You're a dickhead. Okay, now listen. Years and years ago, years and days, we've done 3 of these now. A compilation, a volume, if you like. Explaining the origins of some of our cutaways and reference clips that we use, Nova. Is that right?
Yes. These are almost entirely niche references that mean something to us that we have seen and we find really, really funny. Sometimes they will be viral memes that you guys all know about. David's dead. But often they'll be quite obscure, sometimes more obscure than we even realise, that people are like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, what was that? Divine! And, you know, sometimes there will be an explanation in the comments or we'll talk about it in a video, but generally, it's nice to go through and explain what some of them are. So... No, it's not the end of the video, although cute bit. That was real cute. That was a cute moment. That's nice. This is that necklace. I wanted to get it and then she got it.
Oh, is that right?
So, suddenly, you know, we're dressed like this. We're going to take a second now to talk about something which, you know, is very close to our heart, Nova, isn't it? Not the necklace that you stole from me. It's the sponsor of today's video, Nova, and it's Surfshark. Woo! Oh, God, we've been using Surfshark now for years and years, Nova, haven't we? Mm-hmm. It's very close to our heart. We can testify to how incredible it is. It's a VPN, if you know what that is. It's a virtual private network. It's something that you can get that keeps you completely safe as you browse because it encrypts all the data set between your device and the internet. So there's no risk of your personal data being compromised.
And if that wasn't enough, by downloading Surfshark, you can also swap your real-world location with a completely different one. So no matter what country you're in, you can use Surfshark to switch your territory, and then you'll get access to all different content on your favourite streaming platforms.
Okay, what? Who is it?
You've got Hulu.
Yep.
You've got Prime.
Yep.
You've got Netflix. Netflix is actually a really good one for this.
Oh, and you know what, though? If you're like us and you're deep in these Eurovision streets, it's been an absolute boon for us because they have got servers in over 100 countries, mind you.
So we have used so many references and cutaways to the TV show Veep. That is available on Apple TV in the UK. But Apple TV is one of those subscription services where we don't always have a subscription to it. We dip in and out. What I do like is that with Surfshark, I can switch our location to Canada, and CTV put up their rerun episodes for free. So at the moment, they've got a few episodes from season 6. If ever I want to dive in and just watch a few episodes, I can watch them here for free.
And there's Nova's lunch there, look. How much ketchup? As another example, if you are watching us right now in the United States of America, you can get Surfshark, you can switch your location to the UK, and then you get access to additional content on what? Netflix, for example, like RuPaul's Drag Race. I was on season 3 of that, actually. In Djibouti, season 3 of that one. The snail's not got anything on it.
We've told you before how we've used Surfshark to get better prices on things like airline tickets, but you can also use it to hide your internet traffic from your ISP. And it's available to download on all your devices with unlimited logins.
There's absolutely no risk in just trying Surfshark because they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're looking for a brand new VPN, you want to upgrade that dog-eared, the old dog-eared one that you've already got that doesn't even work, then check out the link in the description box below.
By using our code Novympia, you can get 3 extra months for free. So check out the link below. And thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video.
Oh, cheers then. Right, on to the first reference explanation. We're in this for the long haul here. I put it on Instagram, I might have put it on Twitter, I don't know, a few places, like, what do you need explaining desperately? So many of them have already been covered, so you're simply going to have to watch the first 3 volumes, I'm afraid, for your answers. I wasn't going to go through and answer everyone.
No.
That's too many people, Nova, to do that. I've got stuff to do. First of all, there was one that a lot of people wanted an explanation of that I only used in the last video. I'd never used it before. And this is the drag queen in just a face. It's very, very quick, but you might not know who it was because a few people said, what is the drag queen going? No!
That's Alaska.
It's Alaska, who obviously very famously was on RuPaul's Drag Race. It was Alaska, Willem, and Courtney Act, the AAA girls as they were. And they each did a video for each other's channels of them painting each other. And it's literally Courtney telling a story and Alaska finding her accent hilarious. So when Courtney goes, "Oh no," and then Alaska just absentmindedly to herself just goes, "No."
No, just like when I wanted to when I wanted to miss she's like, "No, we'll sell those really fast, and we only got a small batch."
No. And when I tell you I saw that, I screamed, and I had to just cut it out and use it. So that's there's not really much explanation required to that. It's pretty straightforward. No.
She said it like that.
There was a separate no. I'll put both in. No. So Nova, would you like to explain? Or I tell you what, you finished this line. What on earth is that? Tiramisu.
What on earth is that?
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu is a clip from a TV show, Super Size versus Super Skinny. It's probably something like Sarah might have covered on her channel. She has done a couple of episodes of it. It was disgraceful.
Big Daddy Milker's milking pasties.
It was a TV doctor who, you don't really see him anymore, but he was around sort of early noughties, Dr. Christian Jessen. And he did this show where he would take someone who was a large person, someone who was very like underweight, and then they would do some kind of like trade-off of diets. It was
so stupid.
It
like
was
the
grim.
idea, I think, had some legs to it, but the execution was so messy and so controversial and like not good.
Probably quite
really
damaging.
not good.
And there was a part of the episode where he would take a giant tube and fill it with the food that the person would eat in a day. And obviously this lady in this one episode loved tiramisu. And so whoever's in production on some other second floor dumps an entire tiramisu down this tube.
What on earth is that?
Tiramisu.
Half a chicken?
It's such a waste of food. It's awful to watch nowadays.
Horrendous.
Awful. But that is what that clip is from, because it's just like, what is happening?
Hell.
I feel like she would be kind of partly related to The Hotel is Fabulous. There's something about the way she says it. I don't know. I just fucking love it. Don't tell me what to do, you sneaky bitch.
Don't tell me what to do, you sneaky bitch.
The way you did that then was spot on. A little slow off the mark though, Nova. Perhaps we could be a bit more present.
I thought you were going to carry on with it.
That is, who's that?
I can't remember.
Aubrey Plaza.
From what? Is that from Parks and Rec?
No. So You Sneaky Bitch is from a podcast. That's why you never see her saying it. It's always just the audio. She went on Anna Faris, famously from Scary Movie. Other stuff, of course, but Scary Movie is probably like her jam, right?
She don't love herself.
She has a podcast called Unqualified. We listened to a couple of episodes of that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure she had Paris Hilton on once and we listened to that. But she had Aubrey Plaza on, and they do this little bit where it's like, Anna Faris is pretending to be like a casting producer, and she gives Aubrey Plaza these lines to say in different ways, and she says it in several different ways. There's also one where she does this really broad southern where she's just like, "Don't tell me what to do, you snaky bitch." But then there is one, she's like, "Can you try it differently? Can you try it again?"
This is a one-line rule. Okay. And here it is. Don't tell me what to do, you sneaky bitch. Maybe with a touch more force. Don't tell me what to do, you sneaky bitch. That was a little subversive. All right. I like it. Even though you're bleeding.
This one, I actually have very little explanation for this. The naked cartoon animated ass that wobbles and jiggles.
You're the one who found this.
I know. So sometimes I'll find a clip on Twitter. I more so do this in like a group chat. I'll find a picture on Twitter. I have a whole catalogue on my telephone of pictures I've saved on Twitter that I'll use as like reaction pictures. But sometimes I'll be on Twitter, I'll see a video and I'll have to save it. Or someone sent me something and they're like, "This is you coded, feel free to use this." And because it's so great, I don't necessarily go in and do a bunch of research about what it is, which I probably should do.
I thought it was interesting because I recognised what cartoon this was from, and you had no idea.
And I had no idea. It's called what?
Cyanide and Happiness.
Yes. It's a web series, I believe. Never seen it, though. I just love the idea that this little cartoon dude...
Yeah, what is the context
He's
of this?
being chased by police, I think. So in order to try and put the police off, he sort of just shows them his ass and wobbles it in their face, thinking like, "Oh, that's going to stop me being arrested." I'm pretty sure the scene ends where he just randomly turns into like a puffer fish. He blows up. It's very fucking weird.
Okay.
But just the idea of like, you know, you say something or something happens and you just think like, "Oh, what the fuck are we supposed to do with that information?" You just show that wobbly jiggly ass. The sound effect is great on that one.
I'm not going to do it.
Do it.
No.
Dare you to.
No.
What would you do if I just did it?
You've got to have on there, don't you ever.
Fart on my tits again.
That is, oh my god, Adams, what's her name?
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams.
I was going to say Emma Stone then. It's
Right. Oh, you
absolutely-
struggled as well.
Yeah, that's so fucking weird.
What happened to us then?
Amy Adams. Amy Adams, who, you know, she's one of those, she deserves a nod.
Has she not had an Oscar before?
She's never won one.
Hasn't she?
She's
been
one of
nominated.
these. She's like a Glenn Close or a Bradley
Interesting.
Cooper. They just never get
She's
one.
been in a lot of Oscar bait as well.
She's been in a lot of crap as well. Do you remember
Yeah.
The Woman in the Window? Oh
Yeah.
my god, she wasn't even in the window, was she? She wasn't even in the window. Oh.
You have never met my wife.
We spent the evening together.
Hell.
What even was this?
I think it was it was either a Funny or Die or it was a web sort of series.
They
where
just
someone
they gave her
yeah.
this piece of paper and they were like, okay, so this is going to be your line and I
Yeah.
want you to give us your
Yeah.
most dramatic performance possible. And she looks at it and kind of like chuckles to herself and then puts it down.
She's like, okay,
composes herself. Because no one else knows what the line is. And then she just...
Don't you ever fart on my tits again.
So great. It's so good because she's
It's
so
just the mark of such a fantastic actress as well because you genuinely think like, shit.
And you know what? No one
she
ever
doesn't
did.
want that to happen again.
No one
She
ever did
means
fart on her
business.
tits again. I'd like to try though. What does that look like? What does that look like?
No.
Would you like to try something in that area?
No.
Something different?
No.
All right. A lot of people wanted to know what the song is that I occasionally would just break out into. Baby, when you touch me on my body, I lose everything, makes me feel like whoa. This is straight out of a cow's tit. Baby, when you touch me on my body, I move everything and make me feel like whoa. I don't know why this song always comes into my head. It's so weird. It's the Freemasons. The Freemasons were what? I don't know if they're still active. They were like
some kind of European producer duo.
I feel like they were British.
Oh, they're British.
Producers, and they did a bunch of songs that were probably more a thing early noughties. And they did this one song, I think it's called When You Touch Me. Because baby, when you touch me on my body, I lose everything in the honey. Whoa.
You're gonna have to give everybody more then. I think this random song is called When You Touch Me. Who is it by?
It's the Freemasons.
Who's singing it?
Oh, I don't think anyone knows. I want to say she's called Catherine Ellis. The video is like very 60s. It's on a soundstage. There's people in like swimming caps and they're doing all of this kind of business. The only reason I feel like it sticks in my mind is because the Freemasons were very like, they did the Pride circuits, didn't they? They used to come to the nightclub we worked at and we'd be like walking around like the shop girls and stuff. And then this song would come on in the background and I'd always just be like, imagine me like cute little crap outfit, really crap outfit, buy these fucking shots and I'd be walking around in some shoes from New Look just like, baby, when you touch me on my body. If you want to go look it up, this is like a Je suis un Dolly moment because it's a really catchy song. Actually, I think a lot of people are going to like
I feel like
it.
this might have had a bit more success than the Dolly Rockers.
You don't even know. Je suis un Dolly plops.
No.
I don't believe. I don't believe.
Normally you'll put that with like vegetarian or vegan.
A vegan
substitute.
option.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't believe in it. Because what is it?
Is that Skeleton Key?
That's the Skeleton Key. It's a horror movie starring Kate Hudson. It's so underrated in my opinion. I think the Skeleton Key
great.
is so unusual, particularly because the ending, there's such an unusual ending to that movie. If you've never seen it, she is like a carer in a Louisiana mansion. It's like a ghost story, but it has like a southern, like Louisiana twist to it, and it's so fucking good. And there's a scene where she is confronted with something that she says she doesn't believe in it, but clearly she kind of does because she's starting to panic.
Like a supernatural thing, and she thinks that as soon as she believes in it, it gives it power.
Yeah, so she's trying to convince it doesn't she doesn't believe in it. So that's what that scene is. It's such a great scene, but this mirror thing comes towards her as she's shouting, I don't believe. And then I like to insert like a Beyond Meat thing because it's just not it's not real, is it? I don't believe. I did that in a mix once, do you remember? And then I just sort of collapsed on the floor. Very dramatic.
I mean, what is that?
If I was to say to you, it was a Thursday night.
It was a Thursday night.
I was working late.
I was working late.
When I first caught sight.
When I first caught sight.
Of the Oriental Nightfish.
This is all you.
Of the Oriental Nightfish.
This is so weird and random. This is all you.
What is it? Purple, blue?
I don't know.
Orange, red. The room is getting hotter. Okay.
The colors were swirling.
This is all you. This is so weird. This is so weird.
So
when would you have used this?
I don't know. So, I've used it a few times over the years, but like the other day, someone mentioned Thursday night, and then obviously me, I was just like, purple, blue.
Purple, red.
The colours were swirling.
This was like on a kid's VHS, and it's not really a kid's thing. Is this correct?
Okay, so it was on a VHS tape. Yeah, my friend Al used to have this VHS tape, and it was a Rupert the Bear. And before the actual Rupert the Bear cartoon came on, I think it was Rupert the Bear, there were 3 shorts. One was called The Frog Song, I think.
Yes.
Where it was a bunch of frogs, da la la la. I can't remember how it goes anyway.
Yeah, I've
you
seen
know
that.
it.
Yeah.
There was one called Seaside Woman, which looking back may have actually been pre-racist. I can't remember exactly how that went, but in my mind it might have been a little bit suspicious, that one. But then there was one called The Oriental Nightfish, which was an abstract, it was like someone's dream or nightmare. It was a woman and it's like kind of a music video, animated sort of shapes and liminal spaces and weird sort of elements and stuff, but it's a woman and she's naked for some reason because that was super appropriate to put on the kids. I don't know, whatever. And
I think a lot of people just saw cartoon and was like, kids.
Yeah. And she's just singing this. It's not even a song. Like, it's more spoken word where she's at a giant organ. It was a Thursday night. I was working late. Like, no one knows what the Oriental Nightfish is, but it's just this big kind of like angel-looking thing that transports her off into another world. And I'm sure a lot of people are aware of what it is and remember it from their childhood, but it's so weird. Now, weirdly, apparently we've never discussed... What did you expect?
Are you serious?
Apparently...
What did you expect?
And also, is that how she killed you with a pillow?
Is that how she killed you? With a pillow? No! Look at the colour of that bra!
Well, there's several clips that we've taken over the years from The Others. It's a horror movie called The Others.
Great film.
In my opinion, one of the best horror movies ever made. It's Nicole Kidman, very, very classic haunted house. Also has a sick ending if you've never seen it. I think it was 2001. I have a tattoo based on the one that she has in the movie The Others.
I particularly like using the "What did you expect?"
What did you
clip,
expect?
because it just has so many uses.
Perfect. You buy some shit off Amazon and you're just like, this is terrible, it doesn't work.
What did you expect?
What did you expect? Perfect. There's also a scene where she's talking to Fionnuala Flanagan, plays the housekeeper, Mrs. Mills. She's showing her or explaining to her what the Book of the Dead is, like the photo album of the dead people. And she says, but they're all sleeping. And then she goes, they're not sleeping, ma'am, they're dead. Which I've used over like...
They're not asleep, ma'am. They're dead.
So anytime you see like an Irish lady in a Victorian gown, it's The Others, and Nicole Kidman looking distraught as she spends the majority of that movie. Is that it's just like putting a cherry on a turd.
It's just like putting a cherry on a turd.
Do people really need that explained?
Well, if you don't know who Alex Polizzi is, then you would need it explained. Now, this is Nova's jam, so I'll let you talk about it.
I don't really know if this got syndicated outside of the UK. I imagine
syndicated, the Hotel Inspector.
I imagine it did, because it's been going for several seasons over here. Alex Polizzi, the Hotel Inspector. She is a woman. There's probably regional variants of this. She is a hotelier. Her mother is a hotelier. Hotels are her shit. She owns a lot of really prestigious hotels. She knows all about it. So she has her own reality show where she will go to struggling hotels or Airbnbs and she will basically be like,
What fresh horror is this?
This is what you're doing wrong.
I have a pussy on my bed.
Stop it. Do this.
Would you like to die horribly?
Goodbye, you're welcome.
Boop.
And that's at the whole episode.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because she's got such a sense of humour and she can often be so dry, and she's very, very likeable and very easy to watch, and I can see why this went on for so long.
Yeah.
They're still making this show.
The whole thing's going to go to shit in a hand bucket.
She swears a lot and she's also very blunt with people.
She has no patience because so many of the problems with these hotels are just common sense. It will be things like basic cleanliness not being good enough.
I honestly feel as if I'm being persecuted by pubes.
It's kind of like the Gordon Ramsay of hotels.
Yes,
if you think
actually,
about it that way.
Yes.
There's also a woman called Mary Portas who does it with like shops. So it's that kind of format. She comes out with some great one-liners.
Yeah,
so
she's
it's
got
like
some great quotes.
She hates bad taste and like knickknacks and tchotchkes in hotel rooms that just do not need to be there. So if a hotel is shit and someone puts up like a 99p picture of a rose, she'll be like, it's like putting a cherry on a turd. She also did...
A breast!
A breast! That was one of them. If she's looking around the room and there'll be like a picture of like a nude lady and she'll be like, what do I see here? Oh, an old piece of whatever. That, a breast. So that's where that comes from. This is also where I spent £160,000.
Oh, yes.
£160,000. Are you up to date with paying back your interest?
No.
She has one pair of earrings that she wears to death and a fucking like industrial size suitcase size handbag. It's enormous.
There
What
are
does she
multiple
fit?
episodes of this show on YouTube if you fancy watching it.
Go
just type
watch
in
it.
Hotel Inspector.
The guests are left unattended in the dining room.
Help!
The next one, I'm going to make a phone call and hope that they answer.
Hello.
Oh my god, hello. Yeah. Oh, we're recording a video. It's like Sarah, everyone.
Oh, right, okay, great. Am I a woman in STEM?
She's a woman in STEM. Okay, we're doing a references volume compilation explaining things, but we don't.
Okay, right. Yeah.
I don't know where the bins comes from. We borrowed that from you.
The bins!
I wish I had some magical answer, but it's just from like page 19 of that website.
Oh my god, she's exposing us. Oh my god, so you just searched for...
I literally was just like, someone somewhere has to have said something about the bins, so I spent ages looking through it and found that one.
Okay, so you have no concept of where the bins... We can't use...
No concept at all, it's just from the ether.
Okay, we can't use any of this then. All right, then how are you? You're right.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just sitting on my sofa doing nothing.
Oh, that's so lovely. I wish I was doing that.
Life of luxury.
All right, then we'll speak to you
have
soon.
a lovely video.
Bye then.
Is it about the bins?
Pardon?
The bins!
Now, we don't like using this for this reason, but there are websites where you can literally type something in and it will present you with a clip from a movie and a TV show of someone saying it. For the reason, like, that you're so tempted to then use something and you don't really know what it is, we don't tend to use it very often. Luxaria does, though. What? Because she's got nothing going on up there. So I can't explain...
I'm sure there'd be a way to find that, though.
I'll try and put it in.
The bins!
Occasionally we will exchange certain clips. I don't like to say that I was the one that discovered Trini walking into the door, but those two, they love that one. Actually, I suppose since we're talking about Rolly and Luxaria, there were a number of people that replied saying, who is the blonde lady shouting piss?
Piss!
Oh yeah, that is Luxaria.
Very weird, though, that you would think, if you've been watching us long enough that you would kind of want to know answers and stuff, you wouldn't know who they were, because don't we talk about them fairly... Maybe not.
Not necessarily.
Maybe not.
But I do feel like our audiences overlap a lot.
I would
I'd
say
be surprised if you've not been recommended a video from Rolly or Luxaria after watching our content before, because we have done videos together. And yeah, if you enjoy our content, you'll probably enjoy theirs.
So if you ever see the bald dude with all the piercings doing something like that,
we often use them both as the butt of jokes as well.
Yeah, because they
say
suck.
Some people are like awful or annoying, we'll often put up their images.
They suck. And then she's just the blonde chick who always has like the immaculate face. And she used to say that quite a lot. If it was going to an ad break or a commercial break in a show, she'd want to know what the next part was, and she'd go, no, ow, piss.
Is it a head? Oh my god. Piss.
Just quickly, just going back a little bit, we mentioned Mary Portis as being the lady that goes in. She's got the orange bob and she goes into shops and turns them around and tells them how to run a shop.
What is this? Transvestite of the Bride?
What is that?
Transvestite of the Bride?
Classic example. She goes into a clothing shop. The main problem the woman has is that she has really horrendous stock, dated, awful clothes. She picks up this like blue velvet like skirt suit.
I think it's like a skirt, a suit. It's a suit, isn't it?
She says, "What is this? Transvestite of the Bride?" It is just horrendous. But that's a classic one. So if you ever see her, that's who she is. Her show was called Mary Queen of Shops, which is adorable. And the other one, I guess, that we use the most is might as well have utter shite written above there.
Might as well have utter shite written above there. Come in and get it, because that is what it is.
Oh my god.
She was right.
When she said that, I mean, I absolutely screamed. Okay, so there's the...
Oh, there is nothing like New York in the spring.
That's 30 Rock, isn't it?
That's 30 Rock. The woman with the short blonde hair, which if you watch that clip, is hysterical to me. I mean, you obviously have to pause it. There's a woman walking along the street and she goes, oh, there's nothing like New York in the spring. And then some bum just walks up to her and shoves her over into a giant mound of trash, which is hysterical. But when it cuts to her being pushed, it's suddenly like the most obvious stunt double.
Oh, really?
Really, a considerably younger woman all of a sudden in a bad blonde wig. It's hilarious. And it's from 30 Rock, which was that Tina Fey show where she works as a producer at 30 Rock running a show, like a comedy sketch show. I mean, there's probably a few that come from that. Jenna Krakowski, is that her name?
I believe the children are our future.
Let me give something back to you guys.
I believe the children.
She's that excellent comedic actress. She was also on Kimmy Schmidt. And there's that clip I use where she yanks on the woman's earring. Because her character is like an actress who is so afraid of growing old and losing her looks. And this woman says to her, she's a young actress, and she says, oh, one day I'm going to grow up to be just like you. And she's obviously so horrified by this. She just literally takes her earring. Shah loves that. That's a great one.
Shah would often go out to us and go,
Someone's asked, can you please explain human feces?
we have explained that before.
Have
in the
we?
video.
Human feces?
I'm sure we've told this story before.
This is such a simple, straightforward story, though, but a neighbour of ours thought someone had taken a shit on our street.
Basically, yeah.
And she started...
She was just exclaiming in shock and disbelief,
Human face. And we were like, what's she shouting? And we went over and we were like, what's going on? She was like, someone shat on that bin. Human feces. And then was it you or somebody was like, how do you know that it's human?
And she goes, a mother knows.
Some friends of ours often quote that. They're just like, do you remember that time that she was running around shouting human feces? Okay, people want to have the clip explained where the woman says, I'm afraid he's gonna die because he's not having all the vitamins.
Aaron's loved ones are worried about what his diet is doing to his health.
I'm frightened that he's got to die in the end because he's just not having all the vitamins.
That's again one of these naughties reality shows.
It's from a version of Freaky Eaters.
Right.
So, was it called Freaky Eaters?
Yeah,
We did a parody of that once, didn't we? Freaky Eaters is that American show where it's like people...
deals with food addictions.
So, to one specific thing. It's like these people who only eat one specific thing. And it sort of like follows their kind of journey trying to like pad out their diet with more than just one kind of food. There was a British version. It's about a teenage boy who only eats crisps, I think. And then the woman in the kitchen, his mother, is obviously like, well, I'm afraid he's gonna die. He's not having all the vitamins. Might have just been watching that, or maybe we were watching it, and I was like, I'm gonna cut that out and use that about Shah.
Yeah, so that is always referring to Charmaine whenever we use that. And it's just, we found it funny because we just found the way that she delivers that line so amusing.
Don't know why.
I'm frightened that he's got to die.
It's always the way someone says something.
It's the cadence, and like there's such a like, she goes up and then like really down into herself, and it's just like, it's...
He's dying! Which is not funny, is it? But like, somehow we will listen to someone say something and then bastardize it over time. It's like... And then his mum came for him. She didn't say that, did she?
She goes,
And his mum came for him. Oh.
Yeah, what? Why did we do that? Yeah, it gets worse and worse every time you do it. But that's what that is. Oh, people want to know about the woman falling and spinning from the building to spinning around.
That is...
Sharon Stone.
That's Sharon Stone in Catwoman, starring Halle Berry.
Halle Berry Catwoman.
Yeah, she's the main villain, Sharon Stone, in this film. And at the end, spoiler alert, Catwoman wins. And she basically kicks her off this skyscraper.
Like, by this point in the movie, you know that it is utterly ridiculous.
I love this.
We quite like this movie just because it's so stupid. By the point that the villain ends up falling out of the building and she just spins round and round like that, like it's literally some kind of dummy. It's so unintentionally hysterical that you have to just use that, don't you? Sharon Stone falling.
I love that film.
Fucking sucking.
Fucking sack sucking.
What's
I've seen so many people asking about this. Was this a Vine or is it more recent than that? This is just a random video from the internet. I don't think it was a TikTok. It might have been a TikTok.
I think it's older than TikTok.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it might be a Vine.
It may have been. Also, we get the quote wrong. It's fucking sag sucking.
Yeah,
is the line.
Disgusting shit they're talking about. Fucking sack sucking. And you think that's fine and that's funny.
This is a mother approaching her child about the inappropriate music she's discovered that they have on their computer, this playlist. And she's just asking, like, where did you find this from? Do you think this is funny? Like, this is filth? And she goes, oh, no. And then she starts quoting it, and that's where that
You think it's funny? All this sucking, sex, fucking. It's so funny.
And I think this kid is, like, hysterically laughing.
I don't think the kid, the guy is laughing.
The person filming
I think
is
it's his sister, so the woman's daughter, finds it hysterical, and she's filming it, and she's laughing. But there is the bit in this video that's better than that you can't quote because there's nothing being said. But earlier in the video, the mother is actually finding it quite amusing about how graphic it is that her son, her teenage, he can't be more than like 12, is listening to this really graphic music. So she's laughing and the daughter's laughing. And there's a bit where the woman is like, what is this? Like, what? And she turns around and stares into the camera whilst, I think it's Kanye West, isn't it? And she just bleached her asshole. And this woman's face, she just goes...
She just bleached her asshole, and I get bleach on my t-shirt.
For years and years, we just walk around just going, and she just bleached her asshole. Which, that should really be a cutaway, shouldn't it? Just that on its own. Well, why not?
Maybe a little bit explicit.
Okay, again, very, very similar situation with the woman who sucks the helium and then burps.
Oh, yes. That was a Vine, I'm sure of it.
Again, if we can find out the origins of like who posted them, who owns these, then we'll put them in the clips.
Would have seen these just in compilation videos on YouTube.
Well, not necessarily, but this is literally a young woman and she decides to suck on a helium balloon because she wants her voice to go higher. And there's a bit where the burp kind of starts a little bit and she goes, ooh. Ooh. Burp, and then it comes out in this like monstrous way, but because obviously it's helium, the burp is really high.
It almost sounds like an auto-tuned burp, but it's just the way she's like panicking and like
she like panics, and then she just looks around and doesn't know what just came out of her mouth. And you can just about hear it gets cut off, but someone in the background goes, "Are you joking?" Someone wanted to know about the.
Oh, I hate that. I don't know what that is. Is that not just like Naughty's YouTube like animation like videos? There was like a trend of like just silly animated videos for a while. Do you know who made that?
I think a few people re-uploaded it with different titles. I believe originally the version that we use is called Going to the Store. And it's like a 3D model of like a rubber man, very basic.
The physics are like really, really stupid on them, like realistic.
Do you know, the first time we saw this, I was crying.
I find it really creepy.
I thought it was so fucking funny that there's the music and then he's sort of just walking along the street doing all this like stupid...
It falls into like an uncanny valley area for me that I find really disturbing. I
love it. I love everything about Rubber Man. I just call him like Rubber Man, but I don't know if he has like
Rubber Man was the gimp suit from American Horror Story.
Yeah. A lot of people were asking about the Brazilian TV show intro, Roque Santero.
You'll have to explain that, although I will say there were a lot of people in the comments as well that were really pleased to see that and recognised it and thought that was a really strange cutaway that you used.
It was, but the only reason I used it was because it had its debut with us during our Brazilian snacks video. In talking about Brazil in some capacity, I don't remember what it was. I literally searched on Google the most famous Brazilian TV shows. I literally Googled Brazilian TV shows. This kept coming up, so I just copied and pasted into YouTube, added the word intro, and then... I was like, that will work perfectly, especially because it's so weird because there's like a train going across a chili pepper. What the fuck is that? So I don't know. It's just a Brazilian TV show. Perhaps if you are from Brazil or are aware of it, you can add a bit more of an explanation or just Google what the show is. I literally just needed a Brazilian TV show for that particular moment. And that's what I got. A lot of people don't know what This Is Your Life means because tonight, Shaman told me this is your life.
No, stop it.
When Glenda walks in, this is your wife.
What? Oh, you're young.
Young.
Oh.
This Is Your Life.
That was like a prime time television show.
It was both American. There was an American version going back a long time. I don't know when this would have started, but pre-80s, I imagine. There was also
it went until like the late 90s.
a British version. I think it probably had its heyday in the 90s, but it was a very simple concept, and it was about sort of punking a famous person by sort of bum rushing whatever they were doing, putting them on a stage, and then being presented with people from their past, co-workers and sort of co-stars and stuff if they were actors. And they would talk about their life, basically. And it was, a lot of people thought it was a real honour, because it was like, you have had a substantial career on TV and stuff, and now we're going to go back and say, when you were 18, you did this.
Concept.
A lot of people hated it.
Really?
There's a very famous example of, and I cannot remember who the actress is now, or was it Angie Dickinson? It may have been Angie Dickinson.
What's happening to this now?
Who said, I will not do this show. And there is footage of her being presented with the famous book.
Really?
The guy comes on and he has in the British version, it was a red book, and he would say, well, surprised to see you here. Like, oh, what's going on here? The person would realise what was going on. They'd be like, I can't believe this is happening. And they would go like,
because tonight, Betty White, this is your life.
Oh, no,
Betty White, this is your life. And then the show would start. But yeah, Angie Dickinson was like, I will not fucking do this.
Why?
I'm not doing This Is Your Life.
No?
I don't.
Well, you have to discuss it with your friends.
And I can't fucking, I won't do This Is Your Life.
Well, because a lot of people don't want to have like all of their past dredged up, or don't want to be the centre of attention and feel like they're worthy of all that praise. You're not in control of any of it. Imagine being sort of presented with co-stars who were like not very nice to you, but people just thought that they wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, especially if you were a woman in that time period, maybe it wouldn't have been nice. But anyway. Oh my God, she knows.
Oh my God, she knows.
What is that from?
That's Catherine Hahn.
Oh yes.
Oh my God,
What
she
is this
knows.
from though?
It's from a really awful movie called We're the Millers. It's you know, Jennifer Aniston went through that period. I mean, she's probably still doing it, isn't she? She was in this awful movie. I don't think it was good, called We're the Millers. It's very kind of like
Never heard of it.
That other one she did, Just Go With It.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about like a group of, or there was a guy he was trying to get weed from like Mexico into the States, and he needed a fake family, and she fulfilled the role of the mum, I think it was. Anyway,
I love Catherine Hahn.
it was dreadful, but Catherine Hahn in this one bit just goes, oh my God, she knows.
Oh my God, she knows.
That's a really good impression.
Which, you know, if one of us suddenly is aware of, you know, we've got like a terrible hairline or something, you might like announce it. Oh, my nails look shit today.
Oh my God, she knows.
Catherine Hahn comes into the mix, doesn't she? Perfect cutaway. That's what that is. I wouldn't rush to see it. People legitimately didn't know who the girl was saying, how dare you?
How dare you?
You're joking me.
Greta Thunberg saying, how dare you?
How dare you?
Yeah. Greta Thunberg. I guess you're really young if you don't know who she is.
She is a political climate activist, and she was very famous because of how young she was. I think she was literally still at school.
Yeah.
And there was this one speech that she had, and you have to forgive me, I can't remember where it was, but that put her name like in the media around the world because it was like such a powerful, powerful speech. And then for a while, she became kind of like the poster girl for climate activism. And then when she started to become active in other political topics, namely things like the Israel-Palestine conflict and things that were a little bit more controversial, they kind of binned her off, and you don't see her so much anymore in the media. But she is still out there. She is still a political activist. She is still doing things. She's still fighting the good fight.
And I don't know if anyone, I mean, if you're asking who she is, then you mustn't know. But she is the daughter of someone who we referenced in Volume 3 of the Novympia References. Marlena Anman, who is the Lavoie singer, is her daughter. So that's who that is. But I find that weird that people are still asking about that. Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Michael
Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
This is from a Australian sketch show. It's
Yes.
just fast forward.
I think this one was Big Girl's Blouse.
Oh, okay.
But it was Jane Turner, Gina Riley, and Magda Szubanski before Kath and Kim. I think I'm right in saying that. Australian comedians. They were just in like a bedroom, and someone just comes up with, what is it about Michael Douglas that makes a woman lose all sense of reason? Because I guess at the time, Michael Douglas had played this kind of like heartbreaker role in a bunch of different movies, and people were like, well, why Michael Douglas? Like, is he particularly stunning? I don't know, it seemed a bit weird. So then it cuts to...
Something about him makes a woman lose her sense of reason.
Excuse me, madam. Have you ever felt the urge to stalk and ravage a man?
Oh, yes, Michael Douglas.
Have you ever felt the need to stalk and ravage a man? Oh, yes, constantly. Oh, and who would that be?
Oh, Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas.
Oh, Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas. And then at one point they just scream it from a bus going by. The Ring.
Bins.
There's quite a few cutaways we use from The Ring, the movie.
The Scream.
The Scream is the most common one, I think. So that's Naomi Watts playing Rachel in The Ring, which is a horror movie. It was an American remake of a Japanese horror movie. She's spinning around Martin Henderson, I think the actor is. He was in the Toxic video, do you remember? She spins him round.
Yes.
Yeah, spoiler alert, she doesn't like what she sees and she screams, but that's just so handy to use. But anytime you see the little girl sitting on the chair, it won't stop, or whatever version of that, or being pushed into the well, that was one that we used a lot.
Oh yes, that was really funny.
No, it would be something that like a mother would do with their child. What does a mother do with a child of an afternoon? And then it cuts to push her down into the well. If I say something to Nova and she'll suddenly freeze and look at the camera, and I'll just cut on Nova's face and I'll overlay she just wanted to be heard, and then it's the end of the movie The Ring where there's a montage of all these horrifying things with this like really creepy sound on it.
But I remember you doing that.
Yeah, you know, the end, she just wanted to be heard. My wife wasn't supposed to have a child. I'll do it right now. Just look at the camera right now.
She just wanted to be heard.
He wants me to go away.
My wife was not supposed to have a child.
All I ever wanted was you. Don't you understand, Rachel? But he doesn't know. She never sleeps.
Yep, there you go. That was that. Oh, bitch. Oh.
That's Lily Allen. Again,
This is
fascinating
great.
to me. I guess that's just maybe that song wasn't like a big hit. It was for us. That is a song, and I believe it's a cover. Hard Out Here for a Bitch. I think she's changed the lyrics. I can't remember what the original was.
It's not a cover, is it?
Yeah, I'm
Hard
sure
Out
it's
Here.
a cover.
Well,
Hard Out
she's a
Here
British-
for. I think she's made it like it's a feminist take. I think it was.
Oh,
Maybe
I didn't know
Google
that.
it.
I
I'm
don't
sure
think
it's
that's a cover. But she's a British artist. She sort of releases music intermittently now. But she did a song called Hard Out Here, where a part of a song where she's singing about it's hard out here for a bitch, and then all of a sudden it goes bitch. Oh! But I mean, we just say that every day, don't we?
Bitch, oh.
Especially if one of us says like, oh, what a bitch, and the other one would just go bitch, oh. I mean, there's no explanation for that one. That's just Lil. It's Lily. It's Lil. The woman in the car going, it's true.
It's true.
What's that?
That sounded really like it, I think.
I don't know what that is.
That is from a TV drama.
I don't even know what the clip is.
The Moorside. It's the Karen Matthews one.
I
She's in
don't-
the
I
car and she goes,
I can't
it's
imagine
true.
the clip.
What? I use this all the time. What's the
No.
matter with you? There was a woman in the UK called Karen Matthews, and she she abducted her own daughter for money, didn't she? For
Yeah.
the reward money. It was a huge scandal in the UK. And there was a drama made about it. This was like 20 years ago though now. It's from the retelling, the dramatisation of it, which was I think it was on ITV. It was a Sheridan Smith, who's an actress in the UK known for, first of all, she is an incredible actress.
Yeah.
And she's known for playing real people a lot. She did an excellent Scylla.
She's done some great West End stuff as well.
Yeah, very, very talented. And she was in this dramatisation. She didn't play Karen Matthews, she played the friend. But there is a clip where they finally get her to admit, and they say,
You couldn't stop it. You couldn't bring yourself to say you told a big fat lie.
and then she just goes, it's true. And then, you know.
I do not remember you using this.
Yeah, you'll recognise it when I put it in. Thank God.
Thank God.
You know what that is?
Is that the Royal Family?
That's the Royal Family.
Again, this is not a show that I've watched.
I don't know that the Royal Family is aged very well, but that was one of my favourite shows growing up, and it was a British sitcom where it was an incredibly simple premise. It's like a working class family from Manchester sitting on a sofa watching TV, and it's what inspired another show in the UK called Gogglebox, where you watch people.
I never knew that.
Because she narrated it originally.
I never knew that.
It's what inspired Gogglebox, and it's just watching people watch TV, and it's like their commentary, and it was so stupid because these people were a bit simple. So she happens to be in the kitchen in this scene. They're looking through like a mail order catalogue magazine thing, and they were talking about like, oh, she's too thin, she's too whatever. And then she says,
Mind you, Dave likes his women with a bit of meat on him. Sexist pig. Yeah, he is.
Thank God.
Thank God. And they just sort of laugh to each other. But thank God, I think is so useful.
Yeah, that's very versatile.
There's another one I used not long ago as well, where we were talking about, I could not believe my luck with how perfect this was. We were talking about, should we get takeout? No, not tonight. I'm going to do as a pasta dish. And it cuts to Denise, the actress and writer, she was called Carolina Hearn. She's passed away now. But there's a bit where she's on the sofa and she goes, "You're not going to cook. Are you going to cook?
You're not going to cook. Are you going to cook?"
And I was like, how perfect is that? Because I had the Royal Family on audio cassette. So anytime...
Really? That's weird.
I used to listen to them over and over and over again, so I can think about them in my head. And the very, very last one before we close off is, I am a woman of my own destiny.
I am a woman of my own destiny.
I don't know.
Again, that one is a little bit niche. I haven't used that one in a while. Maybe someone can help me though. That is from Encarta 94 specifically. Mind Maze. The Mind Maze.
I used to love Mind Maze.
Encarta was what? Like a CD-ROM?
It was before every
encyclopedia.
person had access to the internet.
Yep.
Encyclopedias were a big thing. If you are our age or older, ignore this, but I think a lot of kids don't really remember that you would go to a library and you would have physical encyclopedias on different topics.
You have to go in the index and look something up.
When household computers became more common, there were digital encyclopedias, and there was this one brand in particular called Encarta. And I don't know if they actually did books first and then did like this software version, but it was on a CD-ROM and it was great for like homework. I always used to
Good
use
for
it my
homework, yeah.
But there was a game on
Microsoft Encarta,
which was
wasn't it?
like a trivia-based game, and I had a later version than that, but I remember it was so cool because there was like music and characters, and you went round this like world, and each like different screen would have a different trivia question from like a character, and you had to like answer it.
Yeah, it was literally just a quiz. But
sometimes it would link to the specific page that had the answer, and you have to like read and like learn about it, and then you'd learn the answer.
It was fun. Like it was literally like, yeah, you learned, but it was actually quite fun.
But he kept a high score as well.
The version I had was Encarta 94, so it was literally released in 1994. My brother and I used to play it, and every time you enter a room, the character would say something to you, and then you had to answer the question.
If you solve the riddle, I'll strum you a tune.
So this was just why I don't know why it stuck in my mind, because I have a kind of mind where I just retain useless crap. So I was like, I need a cutaway that would fit in here. Oh, I know. The woman in like the third room on Mind Maze from Encarta 1994. I remember explicitly saying, I am a woman of my own destiny.
I mean, what is that?
If anyone remembers, though, Mind Maze, does anyone remember the Mind Maze ghost? This is just like a public service. I'm going to need someone.
What about the Mind Maze ghost?
I have tried finding footage from the specific Mind Maze 1994 version. I remember there being a ghost where if you got to the room with the ghost, she would give you a trick question, and if you got it wrong, you'd be sent back to the beginning. So you never wanted to get the ghost, and she was really fucking creepy. And I cannot for the life of me find a video.
Have you looked for the ISO of?
Yes, I couldn't run it though. I couldn't get it to work.
I could get that to work.
Can we do it on Twitch? Maybe.
Possibly.
Oh my god. The Mind Maze ghost used to scare the shit out of me. Anyway, that was it. Now listen, there was a lot in there. If there's any that you think we've missed, chances are they were in the first 3 volumes, or they were just too boring to cover.
Or that it's like too recent and maybe be in the next one.
Maybe. If you are new to the channel and that sort of helped you get a bit more of an understanding of what we're about, then feel free to subscribe, Nova.
Yeah.
It's going to be on screen. You know, that's a nice little animation just here.
And our social media will be in
that's also there, isn't it? Yeah, excellent work. That's very good.
Give us some follows.
Yeah. Do you know what? Why don't you come and hang out with us on Patreon? We've got a Patreon.
Our patrons get early access to videos. There's a podcast over there. There's exclusive videos. There's a Discord. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh. And the address for that will be arriving on screen just now. Ow!
What you gonna do with all that ash?
Simple. Don't overthink it.
Nice,
very
classic.
sweet. Very nice. You're sitting like a little prissy bitch now. Knee crossed, arms like you mean business in the boardroom.
I do mean business.
We also have a Twitch. Maybe I'll be playing Encarta 94 on that.
Did you actually want to do that?
Mind Maze.
I bet I could get it to work.
Mind Maze. We could try it. That would be so interesting. Quiz.
If you can get me the ISO,
You find the ISO. I'm not doing that. You do it.
You just said you had it.
No, I don't have it.
You have responded wrongly, my friend.
So you lied.
I had it once. I don't have it now. You have to do it. Gonna meet me halfway, right at the borderlines where I'm going away. That's everything, isn't it? Thank you for coming for references.
Birthdays.
Oh, some of the patrons get birthday shout-outs, Nova, don't they? Including...
But not limited to.
For the 18th of March. Alex, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Alex. For March 22nd, it is Andrews the actor's birthday.
Andrews.
Happy birthday, Andrew.
Happy birthday,
Andrew.
For the 23rd, TJ and Dan.
Happy birthday, TJ.
BJ.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Lovely, thanks for being with us. And then for the 24th,
it is Frankie's birthday. Come on! And I can't read that. Snailer's birthday.
Snail. Happy birthday,
Happy
Frankie.
birthday.
And happy birthday, Snail.
Snail.
Thanks for being with us. We're going to go now and cook a meal.
You're not gonna cook. Are you gonna cook?
Very jingly jangly again today.
Yeah, maybe I should have taken the earrings off a long time ago.
Yeah.
And the bins to our brand new patrons: Warwick Brown, Alexia, Paul Swales, Ryan Meese and Barbara Lee.
Are we done? No.
Look at what you've done. What's that one? What have I done? Gonna hit a home run. Remember that one?
That was Misha B.
Loved that one. Sing it now. Join the Patron, we'll do a shot of Patron.